What's going on there, YouTube? New project today in the Luther garage. We acquired a new 9-inch housing. Believe it's by Ballistic Fab. It was a Craigslist find. Guy didn't really know much about it. Paid $800 for the housing. Carrier with some gears. Don't know what gear. And then in this and upside down is a carrier with a pinion only and some really beefy axles. Shame the axles won't work for my application. Gonna try and recoup some money out of them to buy some axles for the Jeep build. So what we had to do today is we bought Ruffstuff's 2+ Perch kit. Pretty slick little Perch kit. Eliminates U-bolts. Problem is this big tube, a little bit too big. So I already got one of them done. A little bit toasty yet. That should sit up there real nice. Get a couple tacks on there. It's kind of a shame because Ruffstuff does such a nice job with their their machining. I mean, that thing sits there pretty much any position besides upside down. Little personal dilemma as to how I wanted to trim this. What I decided on was I made my own 3.5-inch circle. See how many times that falls over. What I did is I took a standard 4.5-inch cutoff wheel and I ground some metal down until it got to 3.5 inches, which is the diameter of that tube. Checked it with the calipers and got my 3.5 inches. It's like 3.502. Close enough for what this is going to be used for. And then what I did is to ensure that I'm making all 4 of these the same, I made a mark on it. What I'm doing is just eyeballing this near the center of this hole and barely getting it up to the top of that circle. My thought is that would be the tangent point at the very top there. And then what I'm doing after that if I can get the phone to stay put, is I'm just taking a Sharpie, bloop, bloop, and then flap wheeling the metal that needs to go away. Next shots will be doing the grinding. Alright, so as they say, practice makes perfect. Got the second one done. A little bit of air gaps we need to... Oops, can't film apparently. A few air gaps we need to tidy up. Trying to get this to focus as a paint. But overall pretty good. I might even just leave it. What I like about this one is it doesn't move side to side. This one see in the bottom right corner of it, a little bit of movement, so I might just leave it. This is kind of how it was acting when it was brand new, and the fact that it would somewhat stay where you put it. It's really nice for install. So next shot will be over under the Jeep. Alright, next steps is to grind this sucker. Putting this in a vise. Make sure you got safety gear on. Not really anything too crazy. Eyes, face shield, earplugs, some gloves. Gloves pretty much because it's hot. It's not worth ending up hurt after you're done with all this, because the point of doing your Jeep projects and other off-road fab work, stuff like that, is to have fun. Not fun. Recently sprained my ankle, kind of gave me a new look on life, and ended up being a complete tear. So be mindful of that stuff, and hate to be a safety preacher, but I'm going to. So the other thing that I found works really well is to put the surface you're grinding exactly in the center of this. That makes it so you got a nice flat surface hitting it, and you don't, if you're over here, you're cupping it a little bit, and you're not grinding smooth. Now, I understand that's not a flat surface, so there's a little bit of hand articulation involved, but I found after I did the first side on the first one, I found that trick out, and the second one ground down faster and went way smoother overall. And yes, I am taking a calculated risk with the shield off, so that's my doings. I know I just preached about safety for a little bit, but I feel it's necessary, and that's why I'm wearing the rest of the stuff I am. This next side is kind of a pain because when you're grinding, your sparks are going up in your face. So you really need to make sure you have your side shield on, or face shield on. Next thing is, from right here, these sparks are blocking your view of the marker. So you kind of got to be on the front side of it, which I really don't like pushing towards myself, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I don't know if you could tell the sweeping that I was trying to do to try and keep this a nice smooth radius. Sometimes when you're just hogging the metal, you don't really need to worry about it, but as you sweep that radius, that'll smooth out a lot better so it sits on your pipe nicer. So this side has a lot more to get. Hogged out of there. I don't know how much we'll be able to see. I guess I'll tell when I'm editing. So the other trick to this is, and kind of why I like that sweeping motion, you can see build up a little heat in this corner right there. Makes it hard to see your line. I'm leaving a little bit in there that still needs to be trimmed. I'd rather have to come back and trim it than take too much away. Throw a quick bevel on this, and that'll help it hold some more weld material. Flip and repeat for the other side. Alrighty, hooked onto the back side of the nub. Tape dropped. Just a touch under 43.